part A, we are being asked to state the type of data. So its type of data will either be discrete numerical, continuous numerical, or categorical. Now the number of dogs, that would be discrete numerical. You can't have a fractional number of dogs. So this one's simply discrete numerical. In part B, it says the graph proves flea infestation is more common in the warmer months across the UK. And we can see in June, July, during summertime, the numbers of dogs with flea infestations are higher. However, if we read this carefully, it says after study 1. So we need to look at this data booklet and see what that tells us about study 1. There's quite a lot of information here which hopefully you'll have read in advance of doing the exam. And most of it's not relevant, but the part that we do need to see is this bit where it says a veterinary clinic in Edinburgh city centre. So we can see that they've stated this bit across the UK for a reason, which is that it may not be representative of the whole of the UK. The study was just done in one part of the country. And then you would say that that may not be representative of the whole UK. Okay, so question C, state a statistical test. Well, in this course, there aren't too many of them. They're all listed in your data booklet. T-test, 2 types of t-test, correlation test, but then there's the one that is only used for this kind of 2x2 table, which would be the Z-test for 2 proportions. And what that test is doing is testing statistically whether there is a significant difference in the proportion, well, it's the proportion here of urban clinics against rural clinics. Now in part D it says state one part of the design of study 2. Now I think this is actually a difficult question to answer. The question they're looking for in the marking scheme is that, well, samples are chosen randomly. The reason I personally think this is a difficult question to answer is because a sample requires a population, and it's not hugely clear to me what the population actually is of dogs being inspected. So again, if you're looking for full marks in the exam, that may be one to remember that might be an assumption of a design of a study, is that you have random samples. It's not the easiest mark to get, I think. Now on question E, this is another reason why you may not have a representative study. Earlier it was about geography, and this one is about time. So data from urban clinic was from one time period, data from rural clinic was from a different time period, so it may affect the conclusions of study 2. So we should go and actually look at what study 2 said in the data booklet, and that's basically there, just telling you that they did the study. And what you just need to say is that the 2 studies should have taken place over the same time period. And you could use some extra words like in order to be comparable. And here's another thing from the higher apps course, is something called seasonality, that data collected can vary according to the time of year. So if you get a similar question in your exam, you could say some of these things.